Welcome to U.S. immigration. In the past, immigration reform talks and action failed in part because of Republican opposition. In order to make progress, everyone will have to compromise. Rather than continuing to operate under a patchwork network of executive orders, it is time for Congress to do its job through immigration reform.
And we'll do everything we can to explore that area. The House hasn't sent us the comprehensive bill yet. They're in the process of sending us other legislation. We want to do as much as we can to make immigrants welcome in America, to make sure that America integrates immigrants into our system of government, and we'll keep fighting to get as bold and strong a bill as we can.
Senator Chuck Schumer, Democrat of New York and the Senate Majority Leader, is quietly considering Plan B, that is to use a fast-track budget maneuver for immigration reform if Democratic and Republican bipartisan talks stall. Will it be a winning plan? DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas announces Family Reunification Task Force principles and its executive director.
President Biden directed us from the very first day, do everything you can to reunite these families.
President Biden raises annual refugee admissions cap to 62,500 for fiscal year 2021. It is a welcoming move, but do we have more immigration changes in pipeline? To know more on these topics, please stick around till the end of this video. For your immigration news and updates, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. Let's get into the video. Immigration policy has to recognize certain economic realities. The truth is, immigrant workers are desperately needed in the farming, hospitality, and food service industries. We should welcome those with a clean record and specific skills useful to our economy. Additionally, our government should revamp the visa process to better deal with individuals who come into this country legally on either a student or work visa. All these and more are included in the comprehensive immigration reform bill. Rather than continuing to operate under a patchwork network of executive orders, it is time for Congress to do its job through immigration reform. In the first 100 days, for immigration, Biden took the lowest-hanging popular fruit, and that mainly consists of rescinding the most damaging Trump immigration orders from the viewpoint of Democrats. The slow pace of change has created a disconnect between Biden officials, many of whom were immigration advocates, before joining the administration. Immigration advocates want Biden to make the most use of a unified Democratic government and push back on the GOP's rhetoric on immigration.
The president's bill is great, and as you know, it's not that different from the bill that Senator McCain and I worked in the Senate with a gang of 8. Dick Durbin was a member of it. And so we're going to try to do everything we can for as bold an immigration bill as we can get. Plain and simple. We'll see where our Republican colleagues are.
It's a challenge, and the new administration deserves an opportunity to respond to it. And I think it's going to be part of the conversation about immigration. Let's assume for a second they're successful in doing it. And 6 weeks from now, we don't have a situation that's as challenging as the one today. Does that mean the Republicans will come forward for immigration reform? I'm not sure. But I think we need to deal with this reality at the border. I've said to the administration, come forward with your plan, and I'm looking forward to what his suggestions are. We want to work together.
My strongest desire is to pass comprehensive immigration reform. I've felt that way since 2013 when the House blocked it, and we'll do everything we can to explore that area. The House hasn't sent us the comprehensive bill yet. They're in the process of sending us other legislation. We want to do as much as we can to make immigrants welcome in America, to make sure that America integrates immigrants into our system of government, and we'll keep fighting to get as bold and strong a bill as we can.
In the past, immigration reform failed, in part because of Republican opposition. So, Senator Chuck Schumer, Democrat of New York and the Senate Majority Leader, is quietly considering to use a fast-track budget maneuver for immigration reform if Democratic and Republican bipartisan talks stall. The Senate Majority Leader is exploring to use budget reconciliation. That is, Democrats could bypass the filibuster on immigration reform as part of a backup plan. The strategy is part of a backup plan Mr. Schumer has lined up in the event that talks among 15 senators in both parties fail to yield a compromise. As the negotiations drag on with little agreement in sight, proponents are growing increasingly worried that Democrats may lose a rare opportunity to pass immigration reform while their party controls both chambers of Congress and the White House. Reconciliation, an arcane budget process, allows tax and spending bills to pass by a simple majority instead of overcoming the 60-vote legislative filibuster. They've previously used it earlier this year to pass coronavirus relief and are likely to pass most, if not all, of President Biden's $4 trillion spending plan without GOP support, giving them a potential vehicle for immigration changes. Any attempt to pass immigration reform through the budget process would need to be approved by the Senate parliamentarian, who provides guidance on what can and can't be included. According to Democrats, if we look back in history, we can see Congress passing legislation under the budget process in 2005 that included immigration changes. They also point to quotes from Republicans in 2005 supportive of using reconciliation to recapture employment-based visas. Here's what Senator John Cornyn, Republican from Texas, said at the time. The Judiciary Committee decided to sweep all of the unused H-1B visas for the last few years and to use that as a means to satisfy the reconciliation instructions. It will keep jobs here in America rather than export them to places like India and China. Speaker Nancy Pelosi last month endorsed the idea of using reconciliation to push through an immigration measure, citing the budget impacts of immigration in our country. We are hopeful about immigration reform through this optimistic winning reconciliation plan. Let's get into the next topic of Family Reunification Executive Order. DHS Secretary Mayorkas announces Family Reunification Task Force. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro N. Mayorkas announced the principles of the Family Reunification Task Force and the appointment of the task force's executive director, Michelle Brain. He said, "It is our moral imperative to not only reunite the families, but to provide them with the relief, resources, and services they need to heal." Secretary Mayorkas outlined the task force's principles.
This is just the beginning. President Biden directed us from the very first day, do everything you can to reunite these families, to bring stability and resources to them, to help them in their healing. We are privileged to be a part of the effort that President Biden has directed to really bring back, to restore humanity in the wake and in the shadow of the cruelty of the prior administration. These are first of many. We will reunite all of the families. The obstacles are many. Unfortunately, we inherited records that were incomplete, inaccurate. These are sons, daughters, sisters, brothers, fathers, mothers. We are so privileged to be a part of this effort. I think the pace is going to increase as the obstacles have been overcome.
And in another positive move, President Biden raises annual refugee admissions cap to 62,500 for fiscal year 2021. President Biden issued a memorandum raising the number of refugee admissions permissible for FY 2021 to 62,500. The memorandum also readjusts FY 2021 allocations. According to a statement released by the White House, President Biden intends to set a goal of 125,000 refugee admissions for FY 2022.
This number of 62,500 is a number that represents the number of refugees that we as a nation will accept, to which we will aspire in this calendar year, or I should say in this fiscal year for the United States government. This reflects President Biden's unwavering commitment to our refugee program, to our proudest heritage of leading the world in refugee admissions. This number was a balance between our highest aspirations and the realities, the fact that we will also have to rebuild the refugee system because of its dismantlement by the prior administration. So we are balancing our hopes and aspirations for people around the world who seek a legal pathway to humanitarian relief, and the fact that we've inherited a system that was torn apart.
Hope the information presented in the video is useful. U.S. Immigration Channel will be releasing a video when additional information is available on any of these program or regulations. If you have not subscribed, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. See you soon in our next video.